Many consider having a baby to be a blessing, which is true on so many levels. There are many people in this world that want a child in their lives, but cannot proceed to do so due to biological limitations. However, there are some truly selfless people out there who are willing to go above and beyond to provide those families a chance to have their own children. After all, being a surrogate mother meant just that, and it could earn you some money in the process as well. The lady in today's story, however, had no idea that her act of kindness would end up with a strenuous custody battle that would change her life forever. Greetings, salutations, and welcome to our channel. Today, we are here to cover the story of a surrogate mother who gets a DNA test and is caught off guard by the results. As always, before we begin, make sure to press the like button and subscribe to the channel for more stories just like this, and as well as to support our channel. Also, if you don't want to miss a single one of our uploads, press that bell notification button and turn on YouTube notifications on your smartphone. Jessica Allen was a woman who had all that she could ever want. She had a job as a senior caregiver, while her then boyfriend, Wardell Jasper, worked for a cable company. What is more is that Jessica and Wardell had already taken the first steps into making a family, by giving birth to 2 children. Jessica always thought of childbirth to be something special, and those who did not have the opportunity to have a child in their life is something that always came to her mind. Because of this, she decided to become a surrogate mother in the fall of 2015. This was exactly 6 months after her son, Jairus. However, little did she know that she was going to regret this decision. The truth is that most guys will be troubled or even horrified at the idea of their significant other renting their womb out. But Jasper seemed to understand the intention behind Jessica's action, as he was fine with it. After all, he himself knew that this was the chance for her to give the blessing of a child to a family that have no way of doing it themselves. However, there were other reasons for her to turn towards being a surrogate as well. After the birth of her new child, Jessica did not want to return back to her old job as a caregiver. After all, it meant long hours of work, and all she wanted to do was stay home and take care of her 2 children. Not just that, the amount of money that she would receive from being a surrogate would help them purchase a much-needed house. Of course, even with all this planning, Jessica would have never expected things to have turned the way they did down the line. Jessica and Jasper ended up picking a San Diego-based agency named Omega Family Global. It did not take long for Omega Family Global to match Jessica with a couple from China named the Wus. As many of you have expected, the name was not real, and there was a very legal reason as to why the real identity of the couple is undisclosed. Omega Family Global's attorney had once claimed in a New York Post letter that Jessica and the agency are legally obligated to keep details about the pregnancy under wraps. Of course, we all know from experience that attorneys only take over when things get questionable or when conflict was brewing, and it did not take a genius to understand that this is where Jessica and the agency were heading. Of course, there is a reason as to why the Wus could not pick a Chinese surrogate to bring their child to life. This was due to surrogacy being illegal in China. This caused the Wus to hire a woman from America to be the surrogate for their future child instead. Jessica and the agency wasted no time as they immediately got to work. Jessica started taking a lot of medication like estrogen and progestrogen in order to prepare her body for in vitro fertilization. When April of the same year came, Jessica made her way to an IVF center in Irvine, California, in order for the Wus frozen male embryo to be implanted within her. It did not take her long to notice a change, however. A blood test that she had 9 days after the planting of the embryo revealed that she was already pregnant. She was then instructed to follow the contracts that she had signed, and by the end of it all, she would get $30,000 for her trouble. However, she made a mistake down the line. It was stated in the contracts that Jessica could not have sexual contact with her boyfriend in any shape or form until the IVF doctor had given them permission. Even after permission was granted, he recommended them to use protection. But she clearly did not follow this rule, and that changed everything down the line. As 6 weeks had passed and a scan was done, the doctors noticed the presence of another baby, and the Wus immediately rejoiced, thinking that they were having twins. Because of the sudden happy development, they even ended up giving Jessica a raise, which made her happy, even if that happiness was about to change really soon down the line. The contract had stated that Jessica was to receive $30,000 including other expenses, which she received on a monthly basis via checks. The new development had caused the amount to be raised by $5,000. However, when the babies were born, Jessica did not even have a chance to look at them. The birth took place at Riverside Community Hospital in California as the twins were born via a C-section on the 12th of December 2016. However, she never ever got to lay her own eyes on them due to the doctors taking them from the operating room right away. Because of this, she immediately made her way home to recover after her tough journey. Things started turning sideways when Jessica received a text message from Mrs. Wu claiming that something was wrong. The message was received on the 10th of January 2017, as it came with a picture of the twins, happy and well. The message was sent through the Chinese messaging app WeChat, and it read, "They are not the same, right? Have you thought about why they are different?" In the picture, one child looked Chinese, while the other child looked surprisingly Caucasian. It did not take long for everyone to understand that the twins were not identical at all. A week after the discovery, the twins had their DNA tested, and the agency reached out to Jessica with the shocking result. One of the children, named Mike, was the Wu's biological child. However, the other child, Max, had Jessica's genes. Jessica had heard some horrifying news from the Wu's that they were about to give up Max for adoption, and that they needed compensation up from $18,000 to $22,000 for Jessica's oversight with the situation. Of course, this was a huge problem for Jessica. For one, Jessica did not know that she was still ovulating during the early stage of her pregnancy. After all, she did not even know it was possible to get pregnant while being pregnant. All in all, Jessica believed that she did nothing wrong. After everything had occurred, now the Wu's are out for financial compensation. However, her bank account was practically non-existent. After all, they used a lot of the cash that they had received to pay for their new dream house. I was in complete shock. I was panicking. My husband and I were panicking. Jessica told news outlets, "We have no idea how this came about, and we have no idea how we are going to prepare for a child overnight. We just moved into a new house. We did not have any more money." Of course, all of this did not mean that the couple was unhappy or that they did not want their son. While they had used almost all of the money they'd received from the contract, it did not bother them one bit. Their only concern was to get their biological son, Max, back into their arms as soon as they can. However, the Wu's were still the technical legal parents of Max, and they were planning on putting him up for adoption if Jessica did not pay them compensation. They were practically blackmailing her. Even with all of that, Jessica was not about to let that happen. Jessica made her intentions clear as she told the agency that she wanted her biological son back, and expressed that they were making it seem like her own son was some good that needs to be purchased. However, things were turning worse when the caseworker for the agency claimed that Jessica had to pay them $7,000 for the expenses that occurred when they were taking care of the child. This disagreement eventually ended up as a court battle. Jessica had to hire an attorney for $3,000, and the negotiations that happened between Jessica and Omega were tough, to say the least. However, the agency and Jessica came to the agreement that neither party owes the Wu's any money in this situation. However, it was stated that the Wu's still required compensation. While the agency was not allowed to give out too much information due to federal laws and non-disclosure agreements, the CEO still spoke out, claiming that there was a good chance that the agency will have to bear the cost when it comes to compensating the Wu's. Of course, with all things working out, there is only one question remaining. Did Jessica manage to get her son back? Well, eventually Jessica met up with one of the caseworkers from Omega at a Starbucks parking lot, where she was given her son back. It was an emotional reunion, as Jessica could not help but embrace the child in an everlasting hug. Jessica and her husband eventually ended up naming the child Malachi, and over time, he got used to living happily alongside his biological parents and his big brothers. While Jessica vowed to never become a surrogate again, she had no regrets, because with all the emotional stress and hurdles, this also ended up bringing Malachi into their lives, and she could not imagine a life without all three of her children now. We have reached the end of today's video. Did you like this story? Well, for more interesting stories like this, subscribe to our channel and press that bell button to get an update every single time we upload a new video. Make sure to like this video and share it with your family and friends. Thanks for watching, see you next time.